there have been coups going around in Africa. The recent ones have been taking place in West Africa from Mali, Gabon, Niger, Burkina Faso, and very many other countries. Even our neighbor Sudan recently suffered a coup 2 years back. So in this episode, I've come to talk about how someone can carry out a successful coup, what entails in the process of taking over government without losing a life, and most importantly, what we can learn from the coups which have been happening in the whole world. What is unique in each and every coup which has ever taken place in this world is they have the same steps which are followed by these soldiers to take over government. So in this episode, I've come to unpack for you the processes which can be taken by a soldier to overthrow any government in power. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagali. There is a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. I dedicate this video to Sechitole Koyasin, a political prisoner who has been in incarceration for more than 3 years. First of all, before I give you the step-by-step on how on how someone can take over government without shedding blood, I must teach you about the 3 types of coups. For those who don't know, a coup means someone overthrowing a legitimate government. And among the 3 types of coups include 1, there is a bloodless coup, where a government is overthrown without any exchange of bullet or without losing a life, like the one which was conducted by the army in Gabon or in Niger. 2, there is also a coup where a section of soldiers make a mutiny to fight a legitimate government. Although this type of coup can take a long time, because since the forces have to fight each other on who is going to control the government. Here, many lives can be lost, like the coup which was done by General Museveni in the 80s. 3, there is also a coup which can be done as a result of civil disobedience, where people can rise up and demand a particular government to leave power, like the way how Omar el-Bashir was overthrown in Sudan. But in this episode, I've come to talk about the first type of coup, where the army takes over the leadership without shedding a blood. And I'm going to give you these steps. 1. First of all, if you want to lead a coup, the first step you should have is that you must be a bad general. Because since you are going to overthrow a legitimate government, you must be a bad soldier. In history, every person who has ever led a coup is a bad soldier, even if he's a sitting president. Because we all know, if you try to overthrow a legitimate government, it means that you haven't followed the constitution. So, step number 1, you must be a bad soldier, a bad general, a bad major general, or a bad captain. If you're a good soldier, it means that you will follow the constitution. For example, the coup which was done in Gabon, the president had just been elected. So it means even if the general who overthrew the president had some misunderstandings, he would have run to court. But since he was a bad general, he overthrew the president. So step number 1, you must be a bad general. 2, you must look for allies. A coup is not done by one person. For all the coups which have been happening, there is a link between 2 people. But also remember, a coup is not done by very many people. Gaddafi did it with 70. Museveni did it with 27, and yet he had to fight a protracted war.
Dear countrymen, this is 1986 and the 6th of February. on this same day, 5 years ago, 27 of us left in a lorry from my house, the house in which I was staying in Makindye, and went to attack Kabamba.
So you don't have to first wait and get a whole battalion. If you are organized, other army personnel will play along. And in this way, I'm going to teach you how to look for allies. For example, if you are a person in the army, you must first write down those soldiers who are loyal to the government and consider them as your enemies. For example, on the percentage of 100, in most cases, the city government has 10% loyal servers or loyal followers. Those are your enemies. There is also the 10% which is in the army, but when they are not loyal followers of the government, consider them your allies. Okay? And note that you are going to take all these allies. Even among those allies, you must pick at least few people. And if you are picking those people, you must pick the less privileged, those who have not been promoted, yet they have put in too much work, those who have been underdeployed. Okay? Because mostly in our African armies, there's some people who are promoted basing on tribe, basing on technical know-how. So you pick the people who are underdeployed and make them your allies. Okay? But remember, when you make them your allies, there is a possibility of them reporting you. So you tell them that their superiors also know about what is going to happen soon. The other 80% don't care who is in power. Most of the people in government don't care who is in power. That's why even after change of government, the same people who are in the other government may be found in the same government. They don't care who is in power. So you may leave that 80%. So number 2, look out for your allies. Number 3, you must select the targets. What do I mean by this? First of all, for government has a base. In every country, there is a capital city which houses almost 90% of all government institutions, from parliament, state house, airports, communication facilities. So those are your targets. Okay? But you must also be divine. There are some people who hold those offices, yet they don't have power. They may be prime ministers, they may be holding bigger positions, yet they don't have power. There are some people who don't hold any big office, yet they have a lot of power in the country. Those are the people you must go for. Okay? Those are the main target. Okay? Number 4, wait for the right time. Time is an essence when you are going to carry out a coup. When you look back, when Idi Amin was overthrowing Obote, that was the right time, because in the 1966 Obote had an altercation with the Kingdom of Uganda, and remember, the Buganda Kingdom had a stronghold in the central region. So in the 1966, the king of Uganda was exiled. In the 1970s, Obote Amin saw this time as the right time to overthrow the president. And guess what? He got the support of the people. So when you are looking for that, when you are going to carry out a coup, time is an essence. When you look around, very many coups which have happened, it's either the leader has stayed long in power, it's either the leader has lost connection with the people, because that leader sometimes is barbaric to the people. He jails them incommunicado, okay? He beats people on the streets. So that can be the right time for you to move and overthrow the government. Do not try to overthrow the government when things are going on well, because you may fail. You may fail to get the support of the people. But remember, in this coup, we are not looking for the support of the people. We are not trying to change the system. We are trying to change the head of the system. So look out for the right time. To explain even this further, when Amin was overthrowing Obote, he waited for the right time when Obote had gone outside the country, and he declared to be president. The same happened in Libya. When Muammar Gaddafi was overthrowing the king in Libya, he waited when the king was sick and had gone for treatment in the outside world, and Gaddafi overthrew him. So time is of the essence, most especially when you are overthrowing an old leader who has been in power for very many years. So time is key. Number 5, you must attack the target. In this way, since you selected your target, you must move your forces to surround the parliament, to surround State House, to surround the airports, to also block any information. Those are radios and TV stations, so that you have the monopoly of communication. Okay, and you also surround the whole capital city, because that is where power resides. That is number 5. So if you surround the capital city and also enter the facilities of power, you are halfway to power, because now you are holding centers of power. Okay, and this can trigger other forces which you grade as your enemy to come and see what is happening. Remember, they are the 10% of any army, but you also have your allies, which consist of 10%. The other 80% of the army will just wait, because they are not loyal to anything. They will just wait for the command from their superiors. So after taking over these facilities, the next step, number 6, is to make a communication. First of all, if you are making a communication, you have to discredit the government you are overthrowing, and also ensure that the public that you have power. Although you may not have it at that time, but perception is key. You must tell the public that you have power, and that the sitting government has been overthrown because of this and this and this. You must give reasons as to why you are changing government. Let me first give you some of the audios, some of the communications which were done by leaders of the coup, to show you how they communicated to the people. Here is Muhammad Buhari of Nigeria.
The Nigerian people watched helplessly while over the succeeding 4-year period of the first term of the defunct administration, most of government of the Federation failed to provide even the minimum of good government.
26 juillet 2023, nous, forces de défense et de sécurité, réunis au sein du Conseil national pour la sauvegarde de la patrie, CNSP, avons décidé de mettre fin au régime que vous connaissez. Cela fait suite à la dégradation continue de la situation sécuritaire, la mauvaise gouvernance économique et sociale. Les frontières terrestres et aériennes sont fermées jusqu'à la stabilisation de la situation.
So have you seen how he did it? You first discredit the government and give the reason as to why you're overthrowing the government. Even when Mugabe was overthrown, the chief of staff came out and said these statements.
We wish to assure the nation that His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, Comrade R.G. Mugabe, and his family are safe and sound, and their security is guaranteed. To the generality of the people of Zimbabwe, we urge you to remain calm and limit unnecessary movement. However, we encourage those who are employed and those with essential business in the city to continue their normal activities as usual. Our wish is that you enjoy your rights and freedoms, and that we return our country to a dispensation that allows for investment, development, and prosperity that we all fought for, and for which many of our citizens paid the supreme sacrifice.
So you must communicate to the people, and also ensure them that even if they go on the street, you're already in power, because perception is key. You are not yet in power. Number 6, since you have occupied the bases of power, that is the State House, the airports, the communication facilities, you must leave room to the sitting president to communicate to the world. Someone may ask, why do you leave space for the president you've deposited to communicate to the world? You want to make sure that he also confirms that his government has been overthrown. This is how Gabon did. Gabon left a room to the sitting president of Gabon, Ali Bongo, to communicate to the outside world that his government has been overthrown. Even the masses who would have been loyal to the sitting government get to know that they cannot fight their government back into power. Here is the tape when Ali Bongo was communicating this.
I'm Ali Bongo Ondimba, President of Gabon, and I'm to send a message to all the friends that we have all over the world to tell them to make noise, For the people here have arrested me and my family. Right now, I'm in the residence and nothing is happening. I don't know what's going on. So I'm calling you to make noise.
So that is step number 6, when you have to leave the space for the government you are depositing to come out and communicate to the outside world. And after, it is better to also discredit or exile the leader. If you are a bad general or a bad soldier, you may want to kill this leader. But I do not condone killing, because killing that leader, it may ignite emotions in the country. His tribesmen or his men can come out to fight, and we don't want to involve the masses in this coup, since we don't want to involve the common man. So don't kill him. This is my perception. Discredit him or exile him. 7, come out and swear yourself into power. After swearing yourself into power, suspend the constitution. Okay? Promise that you are going to hold elections in the next 3 or 2 years. And that the government you are leading will be the government of national unity. Okay? Since in every country there is an opposition, invite the opposition into your government. It means that in the country there will be no opposition for the years you've promised to lead. Last but not least, you must also get godfathers. What do I mean by this? See, after taking over government, the international community will come out to condone you. They will put sanctions. But if you have a godfather, he may come to your rescue. For example, in the world, we have two axes. One is headed by America and Europeans. Another one is headed by Russia and China. So you choose your godfather as well. The side you choose will come to your rescue. When you look at in all coups which have happened in West Africa, they've had the Soviet Union and Russia as their godfathers. That's why they have been able to stay in power even after this. And that's how you can lead a successful coup. Number 8, and which is the last one, it is not among the steps of how to carry out a successful coup, but it is an advice to any soldier who may want to carry out a coup. In my opinion, I don't condone coups, because coup redo democracy. Okay? Because in every coup, a constitution is suspended, which means that even the few gains of democracies are drawn back. Okay? And I don't believe in that. I believe in constitutionalism. So the best advice to me is don't carry out a coup, because coup in most cases build another dictator. That is why even leaders who once said that the problem of Africa is presidents who take long in power are the same president who are still in power. You look around, every president who came through a coup is still holding into power for 20, 30, some for 40 years. and they have backtracked on their promises. So I don't believe in coups. So the best advice is please don't carry out a coup. Of course, that's my opinion. You can also tell me what you think by commenting on this video. Thank you very much for listening. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, I implore you to subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. Peace.